Mr. Speaker, there lived a man in this country, and today he's lying dead. Peter Castro Oloaringo. I'm privileged to have been in Parliament with him, and I know the difference he made in our lives when Parliamentary Service Commission saw the light of the day. Mr. Speaker, because of this, I would like to use this opportunity to send my condolences to this fallen hero, and especially to the people of Siaya, whom he served so well. I was reading, Mr. Speaker, about his story and how he related to the people of Siaya. And I could see an Osotsi, a man who goes home and people flock into his compound just to ask for small little favors that make a whole difference in the lives of our people. I have always sat in my house, Mr. Speaker, and in my home. And when I give a woman 400 shillings, if I was to do that in Nairobi, people would think I'm crazy. But when I give this woman 400 shillings and she goes and buys uniform for her daughter, the daughter will march on and top at the national exam at Marinya Primary School, at Shikunga Primary School, at Shibuya Primary School, and all other primary schools, including Luhuna Primary School, Simuri Primary School, and it makes a big difference. Mr. Speaker, having said this, I want to persuade you, Mr. Speaker, I want to persuade you. What you are querying is you want to make the counties independent. But in the structure of this proposal, Mr. Speaker, you are making them independent from the governor, and you have created a monster in this law called the administrator. They will now become slaves of the administrator, in this case, the clerk. The clerk, using this act, Mr. Speaker, if we don't improve it, will do what he likes. And our MCS will have to dance to his tune. Mr. Speaker, I beg you to read from the establishment of the Public Service Commission vis-a-vis the establishment of Parliamentary Service Commission. We borrowed one from the other. Similarly, when we established the County Public Service Board, Mr. Speaker, we were informed by the Public Service Commission. So I want to propose that further, when we go to the committee, the third committee, the third reading, Mr. Speaker, I'll be proposing that we amend, Mr. Speaker, the following. We amend 109A in subclause 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for this reason. That everywhere you have put the word administrator, Mr. Speaker, I will be requesting you, and because this is your bill, you should agree, I'll be requesting you that the word administrator, we replace it with a County Assembly Administrative Board. In this County Assembly Administrative Board, Mr. Speaker, which replaces the administrator, then the Speaker of the County Assembly becomes the chairman. And the clerk is the CEO. And the vice chairman of that board to be one of the county assembly members. Then both the opposition in the county assembly and the majority in the county assembly will propose an equal number of people, the equivalent of our commissioners. Mr. Speaker, can you imagine the clerk controlling billions of shillings, how powerful it's going to be. And only the clerk, as an individual, then talks with the controller of the budget, the two people, and they can actually withdraw anything up to including 1 billion shillings. And given that this is a fund, it means that the money going into this account will not go back to the National Treasury. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, there's a possibility that at one time you could get billions of shillings into an account to be controlled by only one man or one woman. I'm requesting this House that this is not a responsibility we can put in the hands of one person unless that person is Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Mr. Speaker, I say this knowing very well that your intention is to make MCAs stronger, you make them independent, and you want to strengthen the oversight role. If this is the case, why then are you strengthening the clerk instead of strengthening the institution of the county assembly? Mr. Speaker, my final contribution to this very important law is as far as clause 109B is concerned, where I say that the fund shall be used for those reasons A, B, and C. I want to propose, Mr. Speaker, that we add D, where D will be that the fund will also underwrite development in counties. So if they are only doing administrative, where will the development that is required in county assemblies come from? Are you telling me that after we have formed this fund, Mr. Speaker, and now you want to build a new county assembly, as we do in Kakamega, or you want to do major renovations in the county assembly, you go back to the county executive? That would be the wrong way of doing law. So I propose that we add subclause 109BD to address this. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, allow me to make one running comment on the state of counties vis-a-vis how our governors and MCAs are working. There has never been greater deceit in this country. There has never been an opportunity for greater connivance to steal as what is happening in some of our counties, Kakamega being one of them. Mr. Speaker, in my county, we ran a project running into billions, Mr. Speaker, the so-called the 10-mile per ward project. And Mr. Speaker, millions of shillings were sung in, and when you go to Kakamega, there is no single 10-kilometer road project that is complete in any ward. Mr. Speaker, our MCAs, especially in Kakamega, have been reduced to cheering squads. You go to a public function where you are sharing the platform with the governor, like in the case of Vihiga, where young Osotsi has expressed interest in running for governor. Mr. Speaker, the MCAs will not even wait for Osotsi, if it is in a funeral, to say, my name is Senator Osotsi, and I have come to pay my condolences. They just start wailing and booing. And because, like in Kakamega, some of the MCAs who are really vulnerable to this kind of are our nominated ones. So you see that they are actually hysterical. So I got one, if I mention her name, I'll be put to task, and ask her, why are you doing this? And she told me, my brother, things are so difficult that I was given 3,000 shillings. So for 3,000 shillings, an elected, especially an elected leader, screams herself hoarse just to earn that 3,000 shillings. I will do this for Mama Mbosa in Kakamega. Mr. Speaker.
You want to be informed by Senator Beatrice Ogora?
Beatrice is always very informative. I welcome.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just needed to inform the majority whip and my senior that the state of the elected is more worse in the counties because, Honorable Speaker, the elected MCAs have a duty to deliver to their wards, to their voters. So they are literally lining up in the offices of the executive, lining up and following up the CECs and actually begging. So if the nominated senators are blowing vuvuzela, the elected leaders are worse off. That is just the information that I was giving you. And just to build up onto what you are saying, the majority whip.
I thank you for that information. I thought it was happening only in Vihiga and Kakamega. Now there you go. It is happening in Homa Bay. Mr. Speaker, I'm congratulating you and vowing on this floor for the sake of the devolution family and as a champion of devolution that I am doing this so as to help Mama Mbosa, nominated MCA. When she told me it was 3,000, I felt so sorry. I knew they are truly suffering. I'm doing this for my cousin, MCA elected, Cyrus Moyeya. I feel so sorry when I see him. I'm doing this for Agedis Liai, my MCA in Idaho Central, Mr. Speaker. The guy is a huge guy who weighs around 150, 200 kilos, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry, Senator Hkalwale, must you describe or mention their names in this floor?
Mr. Speaker, unless...
And also describe their physical appearance.
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided.
No, you should not go
Mr. Speaker, I am guided, but this is so serious because they are doing this at the expense of oversight, to the extent that today as I speak, there is no single contractor on site anywhere in the expansive Kakamega County, all the way from Matungu to Likuyani, a distance of over 200 kilometers. There is no contractor on site. Mr. Speaker, I'm doing it for the sake of my contractor from Mumias, who last week got a stroke because of pending bills. If only we had a strong county assembly, the pending bills would be being interrogated in the county assemblies. They would not be waiting to come to pick and pack here in the Senate. Let's take this law very seriously so that governors can stop being little kings. Some have started even moving to want to become kingpins. Mr. Speaker, I congratulate you, and I just wanted to inform you that I have an idea why the voice of Senator Mofire has changed. Mr. Speaker, it is deeper, it is louder, it is authoritative. I didn't know that these things can happen by rapping on or osmosis. Where is Mofire? He has left. And Mr. Speaker, by extension, the one of Thangwa has become thinner and frail. I'll talk to them, they tell me why these contracts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Oburu Odinga.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like first of all to take this opportunity to congratulate you